So over the weekend, on top of watching Nosferatu, I also watched Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in theaters. And 4 years ago, I released a video giving my own review on the first Sonic movie. Maybe, I think I might have said in that video that I give it a 6 out of 10, or maybe I did say 7 out of 10, but I go thinking back, I do rank the first one a 7 out of 10. And I'm a little bit of one of those weirdos, and I never even talked about Sonic 2, at least not on video anyways. But I'm to give you the summarization of my opinion of that movie. I'm one of those weirdos who actually thought that the second one was a bit weaker than the first one, whereas the general consensus is that the second one is stronger than the first one. I mean, honestly, the whole real life live action man goes on road trip with a cartoon slash video game character trope that is like rather played out in Hollywood. That did not really bug me so much, and plus it was really cathartic to see Tom like a sucker punch Eggman in the face, and the interaction that he had with him, and that Eggman says, I was spitting out formulas while you were spitting out formula," and Tom is all like, "Oh, actually, I was breastfed." Oh, go ahead and rub that in my orphan face. Honestly, very funny stuff. So, and the second one was just a little bit more on the childish side of things, so I didn't really care for it that much. But anyway, to get on with talking about Sonic 3, this actual subject of today's video, I just thought I would give a summarization of my opinions of the last two, so as to maybe you all would know exactly where I'm coming from. But probably it was good. I think so. I think I might like it a bit better than the second one. Not quite as much as the first one. And here, let me explain probably the big reason why. And maybe I am overthinking this a bit, but honestly, as the trailers reveal, Dr. Robotnik, he ends up reuniting with his grandpa. And it does not quite show this part of it in the trailer, but there's this sort of weird bonding chemistry between the two Eggmen. And at one point, when they go walking away and almost quasi-intimate way, and I wasn't thinking much of it, but when I saw the egg bots as the two characters were walking away, the egg bots came down and they had hearts in their pop up in their optics, and that was very weird. It's like, are they trying to say that they are in love with the two Eggmen, or are they trying to say that they see romance? Do they think that there's some budding, developing romance between these two? And I'm just thinking to myself, that seems a bit incestuous. And I even audibly out loud said no in theater, and I think I might have disturbed some people when I said that, because it was kind of disturbing and disgusting to me. I never really mentioned anything about the whole gay jokes between Stone and Eggman, and honestly, they were okay. It was whatever. I did not really find it worth commenting enough. I mean, sometimes the gay jokes between those two characters were cringy. Sometimes they were legitimately funny, but it was whatever. But I draw the line at incest shit. Let me say this, especially if it's like a grandpa and his grandson. And the movie does not explicitly show anything that goes on between the two of them. Ultimately, I guess I am reading too much into it, but I just thought that it was a very weird, disturbing, kind of disgusting, and unnecessary. And honestly, I kind of do understand why that they did it. Is because they wanted to have this running joke and this running arc of where that Grandpa Robotnik is getting in the way of the relationship between Junior Robotnik and Stone. But I kind of wish that they had a different plot device in order to get that arc shown on screen and whatnot. But I guess it is what it is. Another flaw about it was it kind of sucked me out of the immersion of the movie whenever I saw that the rodent creature characters, and by rodent creature characters I'm meaning Shadow, Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails, them four guys, whenever that they were out in space and they were able to perfectly breathe, it made enough sense to me that Sonic and Shadow, when they had the Chaos Emeralds infused into them, that they would be able to breathe out in space, I guess, with the power of those. Don't know how the science would work with that, but it makes them super powered, and it's Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. But what kind of makes rubs salt in this con a little bit more is the fact that Tails, when he like jumps out into space, he starts to pass out and fall asleep because he's getting oxygen deprivated. It's like, shouldn't that have also affected Sonic and Shadow too when they were like having that conversation out on the moon and they did not have the Chaos Emeralds infused into themselves? It's a bit of inconsistency on the writing part of this movie and just really sucked me a little bit out of the third act of this movie. Another thing that kind of like was a bit of a downer for me on this movie was whenever that they gone on like this one plot point about how you have the power to make a choice or something like that. It just was rather overly simplistic and just was philosophical sophistry, and it just the movie was acting like it was more profound than it actually was, and it just seemed a little bit kind of arrogant in a sort of a way. Those cons, in combination of the fact that the pros are not like super strong to far outweigh those cons that I just mentioned, is why that I kind of dock some points from this movie. But ultimately, pros being that the action was good, the humor was mostly good. I mean, aside from the implied incest stuff, like there was one joke in particular of where that Grandpa Robotnik makes some comment about, "Tell me about it, Ivo. A woman in the military," like acting all grumbly and grumpy about that, and that was kind of funny. And there's like plenty of other funny jokes as well. I mean, I guess there's like more aside from the kind of incest implied stuff that was a little bit cringe as well, but I cannot quite think of them. But it was a funny enough movie. What can I say? And the villains were rather compelling. Shadow was cool. I dare not to like go into how that the villains arcs were like compelling. Probably the best villain arc has to be Robotnik Jr. His arc was probably the strongest one in this movie, and I liked it. And I liked the ending third act as a whole. Like, it wasn't anything absolutely spectacular, but hey, I felt a little bit of something just watching it. I dare not to give spoilers. Um, I think I am gonna go ahead and keep this video spoiler free for right now. But my ranking and review. Oh, yeah, another pro actually is that the two adults, like Tom and his wife, they play more of a key role in the plot of this movie instead of them just being overly distracted with the wedding and Tom only doing one tiny little thing and that just throwing a ring to save Sonic and Tails. They actually play more of a part in this movie, and I liked it. Like, probably not as much of a part as in the first Sonic movie, but that was another thing that bugged me about the second Sonic movie actually was of how little tiny of a part that they played. They just ultimately got sidelined real hard. But in Sonic 3 in this movie, they play more of a part and I like that. And also, I guess I will say there was one joke in particular going towards the middle of where that Tom and his wife go disguising themselves, and Tom actually disguises himself as Daryl, the one bald black guy from the second Sonic movie who I would have liked to have seen more in that movie, but they did not show him do more kick butt action or anything like that in the movie, but whatever. But he disguises himself as Daryl, and I go thinking, I can't believe that Hollywood actually did this. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's a kind of an implied like blackface thing, but with of how Hollywood is, you would have thought that they would have thought, a white guy pretending to be a black guy in order to break into a secret military compound. Isn't this like a little taboo? Isn't this like something kind of blackface-ish? I don't know. It was just kind of funny and in a subversive kind of way. Not that he did anything to like mock black people or anything. This movie does not like make any mockery of any races at all. It's hardly political at all. Like, I don't even think that they were trying to like actually condone incest relations with the whole plot arc of Grandpa Robotnik getting in between Junior Robotnik and Stone. But still, it just, I don't know. I'm probably taking it too seriously. Anyway, 6 out of 10 decent movie. Thank you all for watching. See y'all later. Bye bye.